Short stories about cats, big and small, real and fictional. Hello. I am Bundy, and today we shall speak about leopards. Leopards are large spotted cats, that live in Africa and Asia. The scientific name of these animals is Panthera pardus. In ancient Rome, the word Panthera was used to describe a hunting net for catching wild beasts. Pardus is similar to the Greek word pardus, which means spotted. The word leopard comes from the Greek word leopardos, it means a spotted lion. Ancient people admired the strength and agility of leopards, and the spots on the skin seemed to them like eyes that were always open. Therefore, these animals were considered capable of being tireless guards. According to Greek myths, leopards saved Dionysus when he was captured by pirates. This god, who is also known as Bacchus, is often depicted riding a leopard, or on a chariot, pulled by a pair of leopards. Dionysus is a destroyer and a creator, a symbol of dying and reviving nature. This is probably why leopards were depicted in Etruscan tombs in the 7th to 5th centuries BC, as a symbol of hope for palingenesy. This fresco also depicts leopards with dark fur, they are usually called black panthers. If you look closely, you can see spots on it. Dionysus is also the god of inspiration and theater, fun and winemaking. Therefore, in olden days, people believed that leopards drank wine instead of water. In the ancient world, Bacchanalia were regularly held, it means celebrations in honor of Dionysus Bacchus. They were attended by Satyrs, it means forest deities, cheerful goat-legged creatures, spirits of fertility, who were also depicted together with leopards, or riding them. Leopards also accompanied Christian saints, such as Gebre Menfes Kidus, also known as Saint Abbo. They say that he lived in the desert among 60 lions and 60 leopards that protected him. He had thick white hair that covered his entire body like a coat. This is the altar dedicated to Saint Abbo, which is located in one of the churches in the Ethiopian city of Lalibela. These churches were carved in the volcanic tuff rock in the 12th century AD. The most famous of them is the Church of St. George. The church roof is on a level with the ground surface. In order to enter the church, one must pass through a tunnel, cut in the rock. The leopard is a beautiful, graceful animal capable of performing amazing jumps, during which, it never misses. It is not surprising that for many African peoples, it is a sacred animal, a symbol of courage and prudence, the two qualities that an ideal ruler should possess. That is why many African leaders wear leopard skin caps or leopard skin capes over their shoulders. The Kingdom of Benin existed on the territory of modern Nigeria in the 12th to 19th centuries. The Benin kings kept leopards that were shown to the people during holidays. According to legend, the 15th century king Ewuare the Great once spent the night under a tree, while fleeing from his enemies. In the morning, he discovered that a snake and a leopard had been hiding in the branches of the tree with him during the night, but they had not touched him. Images of leopards are often found on various pieces of Benin art. The walls of the palace of the rulers of Benin were decorated with metal plaques depicting people and animals. In the late 19th century, more than 1,000 of these plaques were brought to Europe. They are now kept in many museums around the world and are known as the Benin Bronzes. In fact, these plaques are made of brass, an alloy of copper and zinc, while bronze is an alloy of copper and tin. And the Kingdom of Benin has no relation to the modern Republic of Benin, which was known as Dahomey in olden times. Well, since we are talking about curiosities, it is worth mentioning pards and heraldry. Leopards were called pards or panthers in medieval bestiaries, it means collections of instructive stories about animals with illustrations. The panther was described as a beautiful and gentle creature, which was able, however, to frighten the dragon and even to drive it into its lair. The panther's breath emitted such a sweet fragrance, that all other animals followed it in single file. In heraldry, the panther is usually used in a form known as the panther irate. In this form, the panther is depicted with flames coming from its mouth, symbolizing a sweet scent. On coats of arms, we can also find leonine leopards. It means lions with their heads turned towards the viewer. There are also natural leopards, for instance, on the coat of arms of the Giske municipality in Norway, the Venetian patrician family Barbarigo, and the African state of Gabon. I would also like to tell you a story about a Jesuit and a Chinese empress. Michał Boym was born in the early 17th century in the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth to a wealthy merchant family. Its representatives are now remembered by a chapel in the center of Old Lviv, in Ukraine, but Michał Boym is not buried in it. He was a Jesuit and a missionary, who lived for several years at the court of the last emperor of the Ming dynasty. At that time, the Manchus, the Qing dynasty, seized power in China, and the emperor and his family were forced to flee to the south, into the jungle. The Jesuits baptized members of the imperial family in 1648, therefore, the Empress Helena Wang decided to ask the Pope for help, and sent Michał Boym with a letter to Rome. Only 4 years later, Michał Boym managed to reach Europe and obtain an audience with the Pope Alexander VII. The Pope's response was only a letter with words of support and a promise to pray. Michał Boym was supposed to deliver it to the Empress. Alas, while traveling to China, Michał Boym fell seriously ill, and died somewhere in the jungle, near the Chinese-Vietnamese border. Michał Boym is the author of the first in Europe book about Chinese medicine, called the Key to the Medical Doctrine of the Chinese on the Pulse, and in his other book, about the nature of China, titled Flora Sinensis, there is a wonderful drawing depicting a leopard. By the way, in Chinese mythology, as well as in African one, the leopard is often associated with the moon as the spots on its skin resemble the lunar Maria. Lastly, I want to thank my best friend AI image creator, DALL-E3 platform. That created some of the pictures for this short story. As well as Wikipedia. An inexhaustible source of information about everything in the world, including cats.